now? No? And anyone here to put their fangs out for British Hurricane, our EU champions?
That's what we like to hear.
Oh yeah, EU's here, baby. Question is, will we be able to stay here on the defense of Hanamura?
Sparker coming out on the Widow. They're going to go for a bunker with Happy Cool on the May as well. See, instantly Sparker dings ahead. Team Envy are going to switch up.
Daring Elivo decides to go up against the Sparker Widowmaker with the Pharah. A little bit of an interesting choice, but you can see the proactive position of the shield where allowed Sparker to get quite a few early shots. British Hurricane now splitting up. They are up on the high ground here. It's going to be quite difficult to dislodge them, but it does mean British Hurricane may not have as much point presence as they would like. It's going to be mostly down to Happy Cool to try and make that work. If he gets hacked early by Jaru, it could be disastrous.
Elivo's going to find one kill. That's a very good start for Team Envy. He's going to have to jump to the low ground. Fire is still healing him up, but Numlock's in a rather precarious position. He's going to be alone again. Not really much support for him. He's going to have to run back to his health pack, but he just gets surrounded and instantly killed. And Stan 1 can use that grapple as well to deal with Sparker. That's it. The defense is over.
Easily overwhelmed there were British Hurricane. We'll have to see if they swap things up. Sparker's going to move over now onto the Sombra. Numlock found himself alone on top of a pagoda with a shield that's protecting only himself. Rocket got caught out from the back by Elivo with a couple of missiles. He may well be one of the best divas we have in Contenders Jaws, but he's also a mean projectile DPS and also a mean hit scam on. His Soldier 76 is nothing to be laughed at. Envy moving on to the second point now have a healthy time bank of 6 minutes and 35 seconds. A couple of ultimates will soon be online and available, as well as Sharp and Elivo begin to build up towards those. Elivo's trying to take a cheeky angle here. Will get himself out of the sort of line of fire by using that concussive blast to move himself around.
Got to be careful because Jaru, they know he's near. They have to at least. 70% on that EMP. Could end a Bastion's life rather quickly. Yofi has to wait to use that Frisbee. Bog's going to get jumped on, misses the sleep dart. The 1v1. Elivo is going to be able to take out Bok, and now he's going to be in a little bit of a trouble of his own. Sparker's going to be able to take him down with a just vanilla SMG fire. Crimzo's going to pay for his life in blood, though, as Sparker falls, and now Fire was left alone. He got the rest for free.
Sharper, or Sharp, rather.
Oh, there's the barrage!
Assassination.
No. Elivo pressed Q, and he instantly died as Daned just kind of looked at him.
They've given up a tick, though, Jaws.
Transcendence is going to get used as well. Ideally, Daned wants to be able to just body shot Fire right now, but can't quite make it. Dragons are going to come out as well. Jaru ends up getting traded. Well, not traded. Sparker's just going to kill him off quite easily.
Daned, kind of untouched at the moment, is in range of those healing globules from the Baptiste, so he can be well sustained. Team Envy are going to back off here, but they did get themselves a significant amount of capture progress here, so they're going to be far from disappointed with that.
Happy Cool does have that Blizzard available to him as well. Just putting the shield to the wall.
It will actually show through, so it will betray their position, but
there we go.
It's actually all subterfuge. You're going to use some A-Wall to elevate themselves up onto that very hard-to-reach area.
Oh, you see, Elivo actually kind of got baited a little bit there because, like you said, he saw it through the wall, jumped up, looked right. No one was there. Got a face full of bullets.
Look to your right, look to your left. Both those people dislike playing against Bastion.
Oh, Bok's going to get hacked. Not sure that's actually going to matter at the end of it all. Should get unhacked rather quickly, but Team Envy going to take a whole bunch of damage wandering through this small choke. Nice little wall there to stop Sharp really doing anything, but there's a small gap. Sparker jumping up with the rest of his team. I think we're actually throwing out the Blizzard's going to be able to basically just deal with this entire push on his lonesome. Oh no. Oh, Sharp actually finds a kill though. Not the worst trade in the world, but Happy does a priority spawn.
And he does, and that's a wonderful bardic grenade there from Crimzo up off the back wall, but unfortunately not enough damage will come through. That's a lot of kills for a team that seems to be losing.
Sharp just right-clicked Sparker from across the map. They still need to, of course, get back onto the point. Danik does get to ward off accidentally by his team, but Danik does manage to find the kill onto Stan 1. That Bongo doing a whole lot of work. Supercharger just so much for the Bastion. And the rest of British Hurricane are just putting themselves in that immortality field coming out from Yofi. There's the tank form. 1 kill, 2 kill. Elivo does manage to find one. He is nanoed.
They got the second tick though.
But they still managed to get the tick, like you said.
How good? British Hurricane, they need to be a little bit more disciplined with how they're positioning here. They can't allow Team Envy to get that second tick in this situation. They need to get a single tick again. And that's so easy when you're up against a team that has very little power in terms of how well they can contest the point. It's mostly down to Happy Cool who has to do that. But Crimzo and Jaru, if they combine the usage of the bardic grenade and the hack, they can easily take him away because it just won't be enough healing for him. If he gets hacked, he cannot use the ice block. And there's very little cover available as well on the point. You can see Jaru right now. He's scouting out where Bok is informing his team so that Stan1 can make an educated dive as to where he wants to go. But does he want to touch for Bastion is the question.
Gyro setting up the EMP, right on top of the shields. The bomb's going to get launched in as well. Instantly kills the immortality field, but Daned had to scatter away from the self-destruct, and they managed to kill him off. And now they needed one tick, like he was saying. In fact, not even a tick. It's 8%. Stan1 jumps towards spawn, killing off Bok. Now the last members of British Hurricane are cleared off. And Team Envy will secure second.
Beautiful play and a beautiful follow through there. Yofi managed to save Daned's life with a long-range frisbee throw of the immortality field towards where the dive and EMP had occurred. But once that was broken down, of course, the immortality field cannot sustain after the incoming self-destructs. It just destroys the immortality field instead of killing the players. It wasn't enough to keep Daned up and alive. It was a great response from Envy to manage to take him down. Very well educated. That was some great scouting as well coming through from Rasombra. Really well informed of what they were going to be doing with the resources that they had.
British Hurricane's turn to attack. And now again, Envy can kind of already clue themselves in of what British Hurricane are going to want to run because they have Sparker in their lineup.
Yeah, it kind of telegraphs it, doesn't it? Like if you bring in your hit scan specialist, who's mostly known for playing Widowmaker and using those flick heroes like Ashe and like McCree, then you assume that they're going to be playing a composition along those lines. And right now, Sparker hovering over the Sombra, exactly what someone might expect. But having all on the Tracer would be a little bit more
adventurous.
Yeah, it'd be adventurous. It's something that we haven't seen in a while. And when I think of Tracer players on British Hurricane, obviously Craggy comes to mind from last year, but Suna has been incredibly impressive. That's where we first noticed Suna back before he got on the team. He was playing on Young and Beautiful, and he managed to do a lot of work on the Tracer. On this map in particular, actually, I think I remember him doing quite a bit. Team Envy, on the defense, will be playing with the Ana, of course, which allows them a lot of additional healing and a lot of sustain. And not only that, they can just play around on the point here, which British Hurricane couldn't do.
There you go, a couple of little swap-ups. In fact, a wholesale swap-up almost. British Hurricane going for the Magos.
They're now playing Sparker on the Xayah. Unlikely what they wanted to see here, but they think they can win out against the Ana here, potentially by putting more pressure onto Stan1, using that Discord Orb. Remember, it only does 25% extra damage now, an attempted nerf. Sharp not going to get much energy from his own bubbles here. The self-bubble will give him 40 though. Stan1 didn't manage to absorb anything, and Sparker also going to be jockeying for that energy. Both teams want to be well prepared for their engagements here.
Yeah, I mean, you can wall the Ana off as well. Pretty useful. You see Crimzo is holding off to the sidelines, wants to maybe get a bio grenade as soon as they come in. That's exactly what happened. Look at that.
3 here.
That's exactly what you want to see from your Ana player. That's 3 people just lit up purple. And the rest is history, really. Team Envy can just roll through them. British Hurricane just resetting rather quickly. And now Happy changing over, of course, to the D.Va, so he's not the May anymore.
Second that many people will get anti-nated. That push is just over instantly. Team Envy with wonderful cleanup right there. Stan1 actually being a little bit more defensive. He knew that they were rolling over him and that it would take him a while to get back. So holding up his shield for a bit, allowing for the rest of his team to get the cleave through that they wanted. Crimzo almost has that nano boost, and that's going to allow Stan1 to easily finish off the charge towards the Earth Shadow if he wants to apply it so far.
Still kind of struggling to move past just the doorway. They're building up energy for Sparker, using those shields to make sure he stays alive.
They've seen that grenade. This is the time to go.
What are they going to do? They're going to run straight into an Ana boost. That's the problem. Stan1 just swinging away. He's almost got himself a shadow. One more swing will do it. There it is. Discord Orb. Doesn't really matter at this point. I mean, he had the nano. The damage resistance was there. He got so much damage done and so much work done. They got so many ults to play with too. Sharp has his own. It's kind of disaster if you're Hurricane. The Shadow's going to come out. The nade as well. That's 3 people going to get purpled. However, dope support ults are going to get used. In fact, 3! British Hurricane, all of their supports press Q at once. And now they have to deal with it. Sharp's going to find 1 kill. It's a disaster for British Hurricane. 4 people again. Crimzo hitting these nades left, right, and center. You can't use 3 support ults at one time.
You can't do it. You silly billies. Come on. That ain't what it is all about. Team Envy as well, we worried that Stan1 may not be as effective a communicator as Trill was, but we saw it right there. Fire booped up, Numlocked allowed everyone to be open for a shadow. Stan1 was right there. You can tell that that's definitely a set player, well-practiced and communicated play that is in the Team Envy book. Team Envy are going to stand strong once again. Ellie Vote ready to bring out that self-destruction that be required, and he is behind them at the moment. This could be a very stealthy play, but Numlock may well be able to see them right here. You can see him turning around.
I don't think they've noticed it. Happy call, yeah.
Oh, the
assassination. He's going to kill him off. So now he can't remake. The bomb did absolutely nothing, and half of Hurricane decided to back around to try and help Happy. But now only 60 seconds remain, and Team Envy, they wipe the floor once again with Hurricane.
And that's all about fire, you know, the ultimate tracking. They knew that Happy had to be the one to make the play with that self-destruct. So they're like, okay, Oliver, you just hang around in the back. We know that Happy was going to try and bomb in from a safe position, and he assumes behind this doorway, behind this wall, to be the safest position. But if you can go in, sweep in, and get that assassination, they will be undermanned, and we'll be able to easily retreat and protect ourselves from this self-destruct.
Remember, cast your mind back to Control. 200 to 0s for Hurricane. This is a completely different Envy that we are seeing right now. They didn't even allow Hurricane to actually get a point on King's Row either. Grab's gonna come out. Elivo sends his bomb to the back line. No one from Hurricane trying to follow up on this. The Shadow desperation coming out from Stan wants to try and do something, but Bok had other ideas. Stan and Jaro end up falling in Hurricane. They're gonna get a little bit more than what they got on King's Row. They should be able to just clean the rest of Envy up now. As Elivo does end up going down, but not before overtime was set in session.
That was a lot longer than British Hurricane wanted on this first point, especially on their own map pick. The return of the Wrecking Ball. Stamon may have to feed over a little bit of ultimate charge here. They're going to try and re-engage with a sound barrier.
Not every fight's winnable if you're Team Envy right now. Spark is going to go down, and you can see almost instantly the ball is just shoving everybody away. Jory's going to get a kill as well onto Numlocks. Happy Go at least finds one, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough.
It's going to
grab. Happy Cool has to eat this, otherwise it is game over. He throws it in. It doesn't catch anybody, but I don't think it needs to. OT taken down. Envy still fighting on this point.
That they are. They're going to go up 2-1, Jaws. And this is exactly what we saw on King's Row as well. When Envy, it looks like they're down, then not every fight is winnable. If you are the boys in blue right now. Excellent play from Envy, just coming back in with that re-engagement, some excellent generation. What a well-informed sound barrier from Fire as well. We saw in the video how much of a leader they consider Fire to be, and definitely his voice in the team is such a powerful asset.
That's exactly what they said to us when we sat them down a couple of days ago. It was like, well, what would you say about your team? What is your kind of mantra? And they said every fight is winnable, and you can see exactly why. More often than not, when you're in that situation, I can imagine you could cast your mind back to a couple of solo queue games, right? Where you're like, yeah, okay, we got the point, yeah, no worries. We killed them off, we managed to stagger their diva a little bit, and then it's like, oh, they came back in with a beat. We weren't expecting this. Maybe you weren't 100% switched on, and you end up losing the point from there because Sharp just comes in, earns himself a grab so quickly, and the rest is history.
Yeah, we wonder what's going on in the British Hurricane comms at the moment, because, of course, midway through that attack, we identified 3 support ultimates at once in what was a less than ideal kind of rotation there for British Hurricane. Seemingly something's gotten in their heads, and right now they're going to have to talk to their coaches. They're going to have to try and figure out what they need to do to bring themselves back into this series. It's not a 3-0 by any stretch of the imagination, but Team Envy sitting on match point. They are ready to claim the first NA versus EU match of the Atlantic Showdown.
Well, they must be feeling pretty good. Hurricane are going to have to collect their thoughts as well. It's their map choice once again. We'll find out what it is, though, after this break.
Okay, go. Alam mo sa ball to flex? I thought it was one. I don't know. How much? Oh, 1 for 2. Oh, no. Yes.
They don't just play for a team. They play for every fan, every rival, every moment, every match. And when everyone watching expects the best, they perform with the best.
Welcome back. This is Team Envy versus Hurricane if you've only just joined us. Right now, Team Envy sitting up 2-1 against Hurricane. Hurricane managed to take the first control map of the series. 2 maps, 100-0, but Envy refusing to go down without a fight, have just full-held almost Hurricane twice in a row now, once on King's Row and now once on Hanamura.
Yeah, that control map seems far-flung from what we're currently seeing. 2 full holds from Envy. Their defensive prowess seems to be really where they are making their name right now. And of course, on control, they didn't have the option to do that. They weren't able to really defend because they never captured the point. But when they start with a point captured, that's when they're really in their element. And I'm sure this mostly can come down to fire with a shot calling. We've seen some great ultimate tracking, some great reactions, some great shot calls as well from the Envy side. They seem so clean. And when we interviewed them, like we said, every fight is winnable for Envy, and that definitely seems to be ringing true here. They will find themselves on a less than ideal ground in terms of picks against them, the ultimates that are available, and they'll still win out that fight.
Well, Hurricane needs to be able to spit some fire in the booth right now because they are on, well, Envy are on match point. They are 1 more map away from losing this series, Envy, they don't get to choose a map in the series, apparently. It will be Junkertown coming up. That will be Hurricane's map choice. Doesn't look like they're swapping out their roster once again. Sparker walking his way out of the booth. So now, once more, you can, if you're Envy, you can already tell what are going on in the minds of Hurricane right now when it comes to the comps they want to run straight out the gate.
Yeah, going back to the old reliable here, bringing in Suna, their premier Zaya, and of course, they're, I imagine, better Sombra as well. It just doesn't fit so well into Sparker's playstyle. We're more used to seeing him as one of these high-impact flick, hit scan, DPS players. British Hurricane still will die right now, or, well, at least do or go down to the lower bracket. They don't want to have to do that at all, Jaws. They would have to face up against quite a fearsome opponent down there as well.
They will. Envy want to keep on the momentum. The thing is, they already got a bye coming into today. Like, this is their first match. Hurricane were warmed up coming into it. We'll see if Hurricane can continue the series. They do find a win here. It is first to three, of course. So British Hurricane still have a chance to get back in the series. Team Envy on the offense, British Hurricane on the defense.
To see what is going to be coming out right here. Some wonderful koala takeaway. I assume that's a koala.
Yes, they're in the outback.
Oh, yes.
So it probably would be.
I think it's called for Omnium now.
Oh, well, there you go.
It was land that was given over to the Omnics for whoever had the Lord sign out there. There's some Overwatch lore for you.
I'm normally terrible at the lore. Normally I look to you, but apparently you're just looking to the members of the audience at this point.
Oh, yeah. It's just like they've got the anthology. Telling me all about it. Oh, looks like we've already discovered Bucket, though. He's on his own in there. Elivote can put in those rockets for some splash damage, and Suna's getting very aggressive. What in the world is this?
Oh, Bok, you are dead. It's unfortunate, but there it is. Elivote has already found himself 2 kills. Crimzo may have gone down. In fact, Happy Cool finding a nice little 2-piece, but Elivote is still going to be able to rule the skies up here. Because Envy are on the offense, those spawns are going to come through rather quick. Sharp clicks a couple of heads as well. And that's Numlock now just donating the rest of his health bar to Envy's. Oh,
I want to know if Jane just sort of like materialized out of the ether. He was using the Space Stone and just like pressed down the W key on Suna's keyboard. So I don't know what forced him to go up towards that door and just have a good time right there. He got headshot, I believe, by both Jaru and Sharp. Elliot finished him off with the rocket. His health just disappeared. He was out there with no cover. Now Team Envy can set up exactly as they'd like to. Hafikul already suffering a headshot from Sharp. We used to know, he's just brutal.
Sharp is pretty scary, huh? Oh dear. This is a really bad situation now for British Hurricane, losing their main tank so early on, and now Sharp, he has such a good sight line in this situation. And as soon as British Hurricane get off of this payload, it's going to start inching further and further out of their control. Yofi's going to go down. Envy just continuing to move this payload. Elivo does have a barrage, but he doesn't need to use it. Everybody just wandering onto the payload to stall it out for some more time. British Hurricane maybe have one more attempt at defending this before the doors, but look at Sharp now. Right up in the spawn.
He's as brave as can be. No one's going to be able to catch him by surprise. He doesn't sound both imprecise, ready to go. And now
that was pretty surprising.
Escape the clutches of Numlocks. Ripping at him with a test of coils, but now he needs to get onto the cart. They've got very little space to work with right here, and there's the Dragon Strike to open up with. Will they even touch? No, they can't.
Don't want to take on the Dragons. That does mean Team Envy will end up securing the payload and the points. And now British Hurricane are going to have to reset once again. I mean, let's look at the ults that are coming online, Harry. He's got Rally, maybe, in this next fight. Happy Cool's, of course, going to have Bomb. I mean, Bucket's got Nano, but look at what Envy have. They've got Barrage, they've got Supercharger. Fire's going to have his ult too. It's almost unstoppable, and look, Elivo!
It's all about Barrage right now. Who's he going to be able to get? He's got a sight sooner. That's not the ideal.
He hit his head, but the Barrage is coming out regardless. Crimzo and Sam1 are going to go down, though. Elivo found one with the Barrage. Is it actually enough? He's getting jeweled out in mid-air currently, but British Hurricane is still going to hold on to this payload. They have the Rally coming out. Happycool's going to launch the bomb into mid-air, find one as well, but he ends up trading his own life. British Hurricane still managing to control, though.
Fire's still behind him. That was some great healing coming through from a Mercy, but British Hurricane managing to win this one out in the brawl, and Team Envy are in a little bit of a weird halfway house, and there is for Supercharger coming through from stand 1. It's going to be very hard to take that one down.
It is, but they're not really doing too much damage with it. British Hurricane actually backing up.
And they are. We'll have to see where they want to choose to take for engagement. Now, just a few scan percent away from that Primal Rage. There's the grab and the landing.
Bubble's going to come on it as well, stopping a lot of the healing that's coming through onto the people that are connected with that wall. Yobi's going to find 2. Nice work from British Hurricane to continue to hold this payload before these doors. Team Envy now making the full swap up.
And this ability is exactly what they need. They're forcing Team Envy to eliminate a fair amount of their ultimate. Sharp on those Taz like Graviton so great to go there. That's going to be the main tool that Team Envy have, and British Hurricane only have the sound barrier to answer it. Of course, we're not running as in Yard, and no Transcendence will be available. They're just going to have to hope that the sound barrier will keep them sustained for long enough to stay in this fight after the Graviton Surge lands.
Someone's going to jump straight in. Graviton Surge coming out from Sharp as well. The beat is going to get cancelled.
Interrupted.
Yofi's beat did not land. They've still got the rally coming out from Danet, providing them with armor. But that's a big ultimate now down for British Hurricane. Regardless, though, they still throw in the grab. That bio grenade as well is going to connect. Elivo and Jaru aren't going to get out of this one alive. Team Envy now only have 2 minutes and 30 seconds to try and get this payload moving once again. Look at it, it's trickling back, Harry. Every meter counts now. Despite
big plays there from Jaru managing to cancel out the beat of Yofi, still British Hurricane brawling this one out. Numlock with some great use for a Primal Rage, a lot of cleave going into that Graviton Surge. And of course, he laid down a bubble as well to try and interrupt the line of sight for Crimzo and his Transcendence.
Oh, Happy was looking the other way, trying to deal with Stam 1. Free grab for Sharp. Sooner and Danet ends up going down. This is the turnaround they're after. Numlock, though, he's going to find a kill of his own. They can stall out so long here. Look at Numlock's ultimate charge. 10% away from that Primal Rage to stall out even more time. As isolated Crypto in the back line as well, pushing him away and actually forcing the Transcendence to come out of him.
That's a trade that can work out right there. Crimson wasn't able to reach the remainder of his team, bid him farewell, but the remainder of British Hurricane may be going back to spawn as well.
Numlock's dead, is all over. As soon as that Primal Rage is out, you're as good as dead. Discord are just doing so much work, but Hurricane, look how much time they actually burned away from Envy.
Yeah, Team Envy definitely needed to have that time burned by British Hurricane, given how quickly they completed that first point of Junkertown. Team Envy now going to be moving forward. They don't have a huge amount of playmaking ultimates, just Ellie with a self-destruct. That's going to be rather easy to mitigate by the successful and rather more permanent shielding that Reinhardt can supply. Numlock has swapped over to that. They need to actually touch the cart this time, not like their first Junkertown defense.
Self-destruct comes in from Elivo, forcing everybody away. Yofi actually gets picked off. Danet ends up falling as well, as the rest of Hurricane unable to actually touch the payloads. Still stall out for a little bit longer. Not too much, not the worst fight in the world, of course. 2 minutes and 20 seconds now remain. However, this point is just so hard to actually tackle. You've got to really control the high ground, and Numlock isn't going to be able to have that anymore. Switching over to the Reinhardt instead of the Winston.
Yeah, he wants to play on the low instead. I'm not a fan of British Hurricane coming out on 2 levels there when they did have the Reinhardt available to them. They must have known the self-destruct was available for Elivo at some point, and they managed to get themselves caught out in that particular fight. They're going to have to be aggressive here. Get in front of a car, make sure that Team Envy at least needs to win 3 fights to get around here.
That's a good start. And a beat to engage as well. Havigul's going to die on the payload, or at least try and survive for the time being. He does just that. Stam 1 using that Primal Rage. Numlock really hasn't got anything to do with this fight anymore. Does use that charge to try and escape. The Stam 1, perfect juggle control actually in the corner. No way you're escaping me, buddy. Suna's going to fall. British Hurricane now have to go for the quick reset. Envy have only got 1 minute and 30. But the momentum is definitely in their favor.
Frenchman not having any fun at all right here. Stam 1 looking like he's beginning to dominate here in the main tank fight. The Monkey definitely winning out here over the Reinhardt, but Numlock could have something to say about that. He does have the Shadow ready to go, and consistent shielding may will be hard to come by.
But the grab's going to come out. But so is the one from British Hurricane. The Transcendence is good from Crimzo. Havigul lays out the bomb. More defensively to stop everybody coming up. But Numlock hitting down the hammer. But the rest of his team are going down quick sharp. Danet's fallen. The Stam 1 has fallen as well. It's all about Numlock just trying to keep the rest of his team alive. Self-destruct is going to put a lot on the payload, and Elivo still finds a kill.
That he does. Numlock's under huge pressure here. Will fall, and now Team Envy just going to try and grind this one out. So close to the spawn, though, with British Hurricane.
Danet's on the Doomfish. Yofi has a beat, but he can't get back in time. 2 for 2 fights there. Elivo launches a self-destruct, and who gets caught? It's the Lucio. So you can't provide the AoE healing, plus obviously the sound barrier as well, just wasn't available to them at the end. Could have been their saving grace.
Yeah, Yofi got out twice there by self-destruct, also at the end of point B. He was the one who was caught out there. Danet fell as well. Looks like Danet's getting very aggressive, easily caught out by Envy multiple fights in a row now. And also, I'm talking about him a lot. The fire is so impressive this series. He also actually managed to save Team Envy there by being able to not get earth shattered. He was actually wall riding, and he managed to get just up out of the area of effect of Numlock's earth shatter. Numlock should have been able to get a lot more than he did right there, because of course Stand 1 only had the Winston bubble to try and block that shield, and then Brigitte can basically only protect herself with that small shield available to her. Second that that the Winston bubble went down, Numlock was looking for a shadow. He thought he could get both Fire and Stam 1, but Fire was sort of like baiting him in. He was sort of like wall riding at mid-high, but for a second he saw that channel start to begin. He went upwards and he managed to avoid the area of effect. So great job by him to make sure that he was not stunned out and he did not allow Numlock to get value out of that ultimate.
Just saw Wolf's side hustle there. Wolf's Woods. Probably he sells planks or something, I don't know. I didn't know he was much of a lumberjack, although he's got the beard for it, I guess. Envy now on the defense, Hurricane on the offense. I want to see I want to see Numlock come out on the Orisa, have some of that El Presidente action, get the Bastion up there as well. I can't imagine Bok is actually going to stay on this, but I could be wrong. Nope, just looks like they're going the Sombra Goats, although Happy Call obviously has the opportunity to change rather quickly.
Yeah, 3-2-1. If they see something they don't like from Team Envy, they can also go elsewhere. Remember that Java in his amplification matrix can be taken down by EMP. The same, you can hack for your mortality. If you want a quick rotation from Team Envy, they want to be all over this car.
This is exactly what you want to do if you're going against the Sombra. You have to attack them hard and fast and make sure you don't give the Sombra any space at all. And that's exactly what Team Envy are doing. Plus they have Jaru with the mortality field too. They put it on the payload. Harry, what can they do, mate?
Well, they can try and kill Stam 1 is the question, but he is going to get healed up right now. Some great healing coming through from Baptiste, who can put out such huge amounts with the AoE, but headshots will do. You can't heal through that, son.
Instantly gets popped by Bok. Nice little pin there, but Danit instantly manages to clean up Stam 1. Good fight to start off this map from British Hurricane on the offense. Got a few ults to work with as well. Happy Call in that entire engagement. Almost untouched. You can tell because, hey, he's got an EMP.
Yeah, he got himself the EMP. He's been plugging away with that SMG. For the remainder of British Hurricane, also incredibly close to their ultimates. Almost 6 available right now, and Team Envy, they're still going to be wanting for support ultimates. Stam 1 and Sharp have been able to brawl out and do a lot of damage right here, but will they be able to get those ultimates before Happy Call can disable them with EMP? Going for the manual hack on Stam 1.
Stam 1's in. So much pressure, though. You can see him forced up on those stairs. EMP's going to come out anyway, and Crimso uses the Transcendence. It's a very reactionary. You hear the EMP, you're like, yes, press Q, we win, maybe. That's not how it played out in the end. British Hurricane still clearing everybody off. They invest 3 ults in that fight, but they got tank ones to mess with in the next. Team Envy may have the beat, Harry, but kind of running on empty right now.
Yeah, Numlock and Sooner as well, very good discipline to make sure they don't use their own ultimates after that EMP. They've actually managed to, I believe, kill Stand 1 during his Earth Shadow, which of course was a huge boon, meaning that he couldn't lay down the enemies who were facing him. Happy Call right now is going to scout out. Stam 1's going to give up the high ground, but Sharp's still up here. Could take a lot of damage from Happy Call on the back. That's a large hitbox to try and play against.
Grabbed to the payload. Numlock going low. The beat's going to come out, but the Shadow does as well. Self-destruct from Elivo's going to mean absolutely nothing. British Hurricane cleaning up Envy. Perfectly placed grab. Now they can roll on through. They expend a lot of ults, but Happy Call's so close to an EMP again.
You can hear our studio crowd. They want British Hurricane back in this series. They want for the Europeans to triumph over the somewhat Europeans and also the North Americans from Envy. Happy Call going to get some scouting out right now. 76% of the way towards the EMP. If he can catch multiple people here, that will be incredibly important. But Fire, he's going to be hanging out in the back, maybe trying to look for the sand barrier. Crimso could be assassinated.
There's been a lot of trouble. Beautiful defense matrix from Elivo. Knew exactly what's up. That does force Happy Call to actually get back, but in the meantime, he did build up the EMP.
And he did. He's going to be able to use that now to strip away all the shields from Crimson and Sharp. Should be required. Is he going to fake out? No, he's going to come in.
Not even going to fake that one out. Fire comes in with the beat, but it's not enough to save Stam 1. The beat was good enough for the time being, but that rally, that building armor from Danit, way too much to deal with if you're Envy. Beautiful engagement. And those beats are so tough if you're Fire as well. If you don't get out quick enough, Stam 1, that shield's going to go, slows your health up.
4 minutes, you've got to feel that energy. It may be a large time bank, Jaws, but this is by no means an easy round of the payload to complete. It can take up to 3 fights, especially if Team Envy set up aggressively here. They can go through the underpass, just all splurge out onto a payload at a moment's notice. If we're going to take the longer approach here, they want to make sure there's a lot of cover available for Crimso so that he can be a little bit safer from the attentions of Happy Call, ready to use that Transcendence when he would like to.
Numlock's got the Shadow inching forward. Danny chooses the bash to get out of the way. They know it's on cooldown. Hack onto Elivo, maybe a free grab. Speaking of grabs, actually Sharp throws it out. Another Shadow's going to come through. Envy combining a lot of their ultimates at the same time, but both Transcendences will keep both teams alive for the time being. A perfectly precise pin from Numlock ends Fire's life. They're going to continue to keep the payload rolling. 4 minutes of the time back, Harry. They might not even need all of it.
Oh, Krefeld, you know you love it. British Hurricane trying to bring this one back to a 2-2, take us to the map 5. The tools to do it will be the EMP and the Earth Shadow. This can guarantee such a great placement of an ultimate from Numlock. There's going to be very little potential to be up in the air here, but Crimzo, he swaps over to Viana so he can stay well far back. Doesn't want to be caught in an EMP, doesn't want to be stunned out by that Earth Shadow with its limited cone of effect. Elivote going to try and open it up.
Self-destruct in the back line, finds nothing. Happy Cool jumps onto the ground. EMP's going to come out. Jaru hits the floor, goes back to spawn, and Numlock still swinging away. Happy Cool setting these ones up perfectly for the rest of Hurricane. Just a gargantuan time bank now. Sooners going to grab people in the spawn. They just need to be able to land this payload in. There's only a few people on it. Jaru's going to get stunned. He's long gone. Stan1's trying to get back, but it's not enough. Hurricane with a way better time bank than Envy have right now. Does mean Envy get to attack first. Look at that, 3 minutes and 14 seconds versus the singular minute.
And that first attack could be very important, Jules. Remember how impressive Envy were on their own first run through. They basically weren't stopped the entire time. British Hurricane were a little bit lax with their positioning. They were caught out multiple times, and it wasn't until moving into the second point that they managed to take advantage of some high ground positions and halt the progress of Team Envy. But it does look like right now they are in a good position to take us to that fifth map, but it's never over till it's over on escort maps. These are the ones where I'd say overtime is the least consequential. It can just go on forever and forever until you lose a fight.
You've all, I'm sure everybody has been in those situations where you're like, oh, 7-7.
How much can they do in a minute?
8. Well, this is going to go on forever, isn't it? No one can actually push the people off the payload. It happens, it really does. British Hurricane, bit of a different approach here. They don't want to hold straight up against the gate. Remember last time Team Envy just rolled out with Elivote on the Farah, managed to destroy and just stop the front line from really doing anything.
Yeah, British Hurricane may wait to have that signage above the payload on their UI, showing them that someone's there before they run in and commit to an attack. Of course, they can move straight out in front of the door. That's exactly what they're going to do. They were hiding out, but now they're in the same place, and Team Envy dealt with this before. British Hurricane need to have changed up their strategy of how they're going to do this if they want this to work out, but so much fire is going to come in from the top. Elivote's just doing all the damage he wants.
There's no way you're going to be able to stop Elivote, really. He's looking up to the skies, essentially looking for someone to come get him. Uh-oh, that's not where you want to be happy. Unlucky, ends up going down. Lucio's going to get taken care of as well. Perhaps pirate ship being set up. I really want Envy to set up this pirate ship. Numlock's going to get chewed through. I mean, Elivote does have a tank. Maybe he stays on it. Nice little sleep, but that's going to be it for the defense for the time being. They burn a lot of time, though. There's only 20 seconds now remains.
Elivote heading back towards the spawn. I think he's going to move over onto his famous diva. British Hurricane, not too much of a swap up here. They're going to try and keep all of their ultimates. Bucket almost has Banana Boost ready to go, but Elivote, no, he's not actually swapping. Maybe it was a little bit of a fake out. He's trying to bamboozle us as well as bamboozle British Hurricane. He could find himself in a position to lay down some fire from the back. A flanking Bastion maybe in order, but Stan1 first going to look to get value.
No flanking Bastion because he actually slept. The Shadow's going to come through and Stan1 instantly gets deleted. This is what they were after. Hurricane come out big. Numlock now with the nano boost as well can stand up against the tank form of Elivote. Jaru though in the back line. The rest of Hurricane were actually paid attention to Elivote more than anybody else and actually takes out the support line.
What can down there do? They've got to stay on the cart. They've almost been grabbed off, but there is the return. Stan1 going to crush Numlock underfoot.
Wow, Jaru managed to take out both Bok and Yofi. That is the hero play that you really want from your brig. Envy going to continue this payload moving. Don't think Hurricane is going to be able to get back.
Then he found himself in a less than desirable position, faced with a Bastion as a Brigida. What are you going to do against that? You're barely doing 20 damage per hit up against the Ironclad passive. Does look like we are going to have a couple of changes maybe. Elivote is going to swap over now onto the Diva, and Stan1, of course, went over onto the Wrecking Ball to try and rejoin the fight quickly, so he gave up the ult charge, goes back over to the Reinhardt. But now, when we talk about ultimates, it's all about sharp and from the back! What in the world?
Lays the ball out flat. That's the grab. It doesn't matter. Bomb comes through as well.
Oh my lord!
That's what you want from the Lanimal. Numlock comes up big, stops him just after the door as well. And that is going to be where they have to make it to push them to this game 5.
That one caught us by surprise, and we could see outlines in the spectator client. I had no idea. Numlock, the big brain Barton. We've talked about Nice Bomb Happy, but big brain Barton is also up there, and that was definitely an example of the big brain of Seb Barton. Numlocked, locking them all up, locking them down, taking them out. Team Envy managing to get 11 meters through the doorway there, but crucially, they did manage to complete the first point, and this is incredibly defensible, Jaws. This is by no means a lock right now for British Hurricane, but it seems very doable for the team.
Hyper doable. 3 minutes and 14 seconds is what they have to play with. And they have such a big advantage on the defense on this map specifically. It takes so long to actually get back to that payload, although it feels like an eternity, and you can just gain so much ground as the offense with that payload. British Hurricane rolling out with the same sort of thing. Remember, Happy was left actually completely unchecked initially. Actually earned the AMP so fast, and Envy just could not deal with it.
And Suna right now hovering over on the Bastion. I wonder if he'll actually stay on that. I doubt it because he needs to build up the Graviton Surge with the Zaya. There it is. But Havical, Team Envy needs to pay better attention to him. This is what we saw British Hurricane do in that match against Low-Key. They managed to mark Marie so well. They're coming up the side door, want to try and catch Envy just a little bit off guard as they take control of the car. Now Envy need to move into them.
How did Happy not actually get found out there?
Stan's in
he
trouble.
does manage to find the hack. It is going to be onto Jaro. Stan one taking a lot of damage. Can't use the armor pack if you're hacked. Instantly gets taken out. Perfect prioritization. Sometimes you don't need to hack the tanks away for them to die. Jaro's going to fall as well. Good start from Hurricane.
Team Envy seemingly caught midway through their disengage right there. They are going to get away with 4 people potentially. Don't want to allow Sharp to get away with that energy, but it's too much to commit. They're going to have to let him get away and come back with the energy that he has accrued. They're going to wait for stand 1, of course, but still, distance is being gained here by British Hurricane. We're about 2 fights away from taking us to a 5th map here, but British Hurricane don't have a huge amount of ultimates available.
Suna's got 50% on that grab. Sharp's just an inch behind him at 40. Stan on a Numlock going at loggerheads. They have to pay attention to Happy Cool though. Jaru's going extremely low as well. He's going to have to dodge around him.
That's 2.
Happy Cool find him 1. Numlock going to find another. Emil. Elibo, sorry.
What is he
in a
doing?
whole bunch of danger right now. There's one more fight for British Hurricane to take, and they got ults to do with. Envy need to get back to this payload.
Yeah, and if Envy allow this to be capped, it does mean that British Hurricane spawn is going to move on forward. They've got control of the high ground. They're going to have to contest rather quickly. They don't have the ultimates that British Hurricane had. They've only got the Transcendence. They need to go thick. They need to go fast, Jaws. But Suna, he's ready and waiting with a Graviton Surge, and Envy can expect to experience some gravitation.
Oh, Happy Cool trying to find a hack onto somebody. It's so close. It's 2 minutes, 2 meters away. Graviton Surge comes out from Suna. A Crimzo's going to use the Transcendence to keep everybody alive to start off with. Best down one's already dead. Happy Cool in the back line has to translocate back, but
The MP's ready.
do not have the bodies ready. Fox going to find 3. British Hurricane managed to complete Junkertown, find the win, and push us to a game 5.
And you can see exactly why they picked that map. Their strategy was fantastic there. Will take us to a map 5. But, Jaws, this is going to be the first map. It's going to be the second map that we see Envy manage to pick, because they did pick King's Row, and it seems like they are very much aware of what maps they can pick, which are a great sort of like place where you can play against British Hurricane. But remember, we're going to Control, and that's where British Hurricane thus far have looked their strongest, getting the 200-0 over Envy. They need to talk with Chu, they need to talk with all of their backroom staff and figure out how they're going to change up their control game to not have a similar experience to what their first map was.
Maybe it will come down to the picks. Remember, May was kind of the big facilitator for Hurricane in that match. 2 100-0s. I'm not sure Envy are looking forward to this one. They're on the ropes, and they got a buy as well to be here. It feels pretty good. It feels like Hurricane are really amped up with energy. They are on home turf. They are in EU. It was the NA people that had to fly all the way over here to just get crushed by EU.
Well, Envy may not be looking forward to this, but I know that I am, you are, our crowd here is looking forward to map 5, and you guys at home are as well. We will see you after a break.
Welcome back. This is Hurricane versus Envy.
It just flew into my eye.
And I can... Do you know what flew into your eye? NA tears. That's exactly what flew into your eye.
Yeah, it's just pouring out of me right
The
now.
Lanimal energy, I can feel it radiating from the booth of Hurricane right now. The momentum completely shifted into their favor on what we saw, Kings Row and Hanamura, both of which got full held by Envy. Hurricane decided, no, our time is now. We're going to make a stand on Junkertown, which they did manage to take. And now we head to Lijiang Tower.
And Numlocked absolutely delivered on the Reddit shadow from the back of the Junkertown, coming down from behind him. Literally top-roped the entirety of Team Envy and destroyed all hope they had of finishing that particular phase of the game. Going over to Lijiang Tower, it's fairly similar to Nepal, but of course we're going to see a little bit less Mei, I imagine. And of course, if we go over to Control Center, that is where you can see the straight 3-3 versus 3-3 matchups. And maybe we might see something a little bit special come out on something like Gardens. We could see like a Widowmaker here and there. Could see a Pharah. But given what we saw during the first map, I imagine Envy aren't going to want to go for the DPS versus DPS showdown because they got 100-0 on Sanctum when they tried to bring out those DPS heroes.
I can still see Sooner in the box as well. So that doesn't mean we're not seeing Sparker again, just yet anyway. So Hurricane now need to decide what they and how they want to attack this, because yeah, like you said, Control very much went in their favor. But it did feel so good for Envy, to be fair. I mean, Sanctum did go 100-0, yes, but I'm thinking about Elivo and his Pharah. He was doing so much work. He basically isolated Numlocked. He managed to get a boop onto a Bob down into the pit. He managed to boop Numlocked as well. It was just the sheer control and just the brutality coming out from Danid to just destroy the game on a hands loop.
Speaking of Control Jaws, let's jump on in. Lijiang Tower, it's going to be Gardens, which is our first stage.
British Hurricane over on the left. Team Envy over on the right.
We do actually have logos wrong way around there. British Hurricane.
It's like trading jerseys.
Yeah, man, they traded jerseys before the end, just as a mark of disrespect.
Hurricane rolling out the gates. Standard 3-3 affair on both sides.
Gonna have to see how the positioning goes right here. Is one team gonna go more directly to the point? Right now, it looks like they want to play around the central advertisement pavilion. Numlocked and Stan1 gonna touch shields for a little bit over there, and Yofi's gonna try and look for some control onto Stan1.
Oh, Numlocked going extraordinarily low. Look, he's actually backed up. He was trying to hold S, but it wasn't good enough. Stan1's gonna get jumped on as well. Sooner finds the kill. Elivo finding another one though. But still, British Hurricane still willing to fight this. You can see holding nearer the point, so as soon as it gets unlocked, Team Envy don't instantly cap. Nice little kill from Bok, but issue is you're against tanks now. It's just you and another support. You're not going to be able to survive long, and the rest of Envy are going to clean on up.
Elliot there basically ignored, did a huge amount of damage. Look at the ultimate charge that he has. He almost has the self-destruct already. Havoc was currently sitting at 30%. He took a lot of damage to begin with, and it means that there's potentially going to be an unexpected self-destruct from Elivo if British Hurricane weren't effectively tracking how much damage he was doing. Team Envy have a first attack here, or have the first control, which means British Hurricane are going to have to try and come into them. Elivo's around the back again, maybe looking for an assassination. This would work.
Look at this! Straight on in. He does a lot of damage and actually forces the Transcendence out of Bok. That does mean, though, all that healing was available for them to just kind of walk at Stan1. So we'll see what they want to do here. Do they want to back off? Dan is actually using the rally instantly to start this fight off. The beat's going to come through. Team Envy not done with this fight just yet. Graviton Surge is going to come out. Every fight is still winnable if you're Envy. Crimzo using the Transcendence to keep everybody alive. Dana gets pushed back, and the shadow from Numlocked was good. Did manage to isolate one, but Stan1 is there, standing true to form. Is going to be able to protect the rest of his team. The shadow from Stan1, though, gets instantly cancelled by Danis, and now he's in a whole bunch of trouble.
Zero ping shield bash, getting rid of that, but look at Sharp moving forward. Doesn't give a damn, he's got all the energy in the world. He's carving through British Hurricane, who have to Scarper. They used a whole lot in that fight there, Jaws, and they also gave up a huge advantage that they had, which was Stan1 being booped off by Daned. Right now, Daned on the 0 MS LAN client doing his best to bully out Stan1, but the remainder of Team Envy stands strong without him. We talked every fight is winnable. The main tank is sort of playing like the bumper roll. I'll die anyway, but we'll still win because of the space that I've made.
And the whole bunch of damage you're doing as well. As soon as you force out that armor pack, it will become quite a horrible situation. Envy still holding this point. This is more percent than they've gained in control in this series. Up to 90% now. This is one fight territory for Hurricane. Bomb comes out from Happy, but he instantly dies. He tries to re-mecha. Transcenders come through. Numlock's going so low. A Transcenders had to be used in order to keep him alive. And now he's got the Shatter. He has to use it at some point. But the bomb from Elivo is good. Sharp right clicking as well. Envy. I get 100-0 Hurricane.
A reversal of control fates there from Team Envy. It's 100-0 all the way right back. People were worried. British Hurricane coming into control may do the same thing they did in the first map. It looks like Envy, looks like they maybe talked with Chu. They figured out what was going wrong on control. They figured out how they were going to fix that. And now we're going over onto Control Center. So they're going to be just as able to go for that straight 3-3 versus 3-3 matchup. But Elivo right now is hovering over on that May, and Daned is on the Doomfist. This is usually where we'd expect to see a little bit less experimentation, but maybe British Hurricane feel they need a little bit of secret sauce to spice things up for Envy.
I don't know about Daned on Doom. Not right here, not as soon as they see Elivo on the May. He's still going to roll out with it though. Yeah, he's not changing over at all. Potentially they go back once more, but it does give up so much space to Envy. So wait and see what they want to do.
Already Numlock to stand one, exchanging those fire strikes, trying to get a little bit of damage onto the shield, but the hammer blows. Wants to win out that shield war, and Gyro's going to take a bit of damage too. Daned in the back.
In, but look at that, instantly shield bashed. Elivo's going to separate the rest of the team as well with a wall. Stand one's going fairly low, punched into the wall. Numlock's going to find the nice flame strike as well to kill off Sharp. Good starts for Hurricane.
Daned comes up to land and punches you. What do you do? Apparently you have to reset if you're Team Envy. Elivo may decide to swap over here. Gonna have to see if he wants to play on that Diva, but I imagine that he feels that May has a bit of value against this Doomfist. Daned's shield is slowly gonna evaporate away. Remember, when you're more aggressive with the Doomfist, attack is the best defense for him because he generates those shields by hitting people with his abilities.
First cap for Hurricane, so they're at 15%. Not too bad, but Team Envy are gonna have to use a whole bunch of ults in this fight to try and make this one stick. Numlock's got the Shatter. It's all about stand one, trying to deflect it. Oh, that was great! That's what you want to see from your May. Numlock's going to get pinned and killed. That's going to be the Blizzard coming out as well, and stand one lays his own Shatter down.
That right there's the Tilda Jaws. That's what destroys your mentality. Elivo saw the hammer go down, the wall came up.
Daned's going to use that Doomfist to disengage himself. I can imagine he's going to change. Using that Meteor Strike flip now for Envy.
Elivo must be grinning like a madman right now. Just the power. That was just such a power play that he had over Numlock. Ganna's now swapping over onto the Brigitte, going for the 3-3 matchup once again, but they're up against a defensive May. Haffical going to move over onto a May of his own, maybe try and bring himself into a position where his team can block line of sight. There's the wall.
They knew exactly how they wanted to attack that grab, instant Transcendence, but Elivo's freezing everybody up. Daned is going to go down, and the Shatter from stand one is going to land, connects with Numlock to the rest of the team, and they end up falling once again. Bob getting a little bit of bloodthirsty, but it won't matter because the rest of the team is dead.
And this is the position you want to be in as a Mage, George. You want to be on the defense, able to wall people off as they come in. Numlock, they're trying to get in his head. They're not letting him play the game. He comes through the doorway. He gets walled off. He gets gravitoned. He gets frozen, and then he gets earth shattered as well. He's not allowed to play Overwatch. He basically got uninstalled by Elivo right there, who's trying to block off people as they come through again.
There's the wall. Did they manage to catch Numlock? Yes, they did. There's going to be the shield slam actually charged from stand one into Numlock to stop him pinning him himself, but
great wall.
They actually walled themselves in there. You could see Haffical was like, what are you doing so far up in our front line? Crimzo and Stam one end up going down. Sooner is going to fall as well. However, still with the Blizzard has Elivotes. Blizzard's going to come through. Now he just has to aim the left click and wall everybody off. They're not going to fall just yet, though, as Numlock is saved briefly by Haffical's own wall.
Gonna have to try and counterattack with the sound barrier. Elivo may be caught out here, but has the ice block to defend himself. But still, Jaws, the point is ticking up. Dan needs to move over onto there. He's got the rally to try and do it, but Fire's still contesting.
Elivo's going to get walled off himself. Sharp has that Graviton Surge. Fire is going to fall, especially if you leave this now, Team Envy. You know you've lost the fight. Just buy a little bit more time, which they did. Envy now 25% away from taking the series.
Like I said, this is where the May team wants to be on the defense. British Hurricane can potentially hold for a while here if they can catch Team Envy on a haphazard engagement, if they can try and find stand one by himself. They're going through a wider entrance so they can try and circumnavigate that wall if it does come down. Sooner or later, lay down the Graviton Surge, but the same can be said of Sharp.
Grav locks everybody to that wall. That's a whole heap of damage. Numlock swinging on through. Hurricane managed to get the complete team kill. Envy, though, Can use ults there, so not the worst situation in the world, but they still got to run up against British Hurricane, who are now in one-fight territory themselves.
Yeah, they might not even be allowed to touch. It may have to be Fire who makes a beeline for it if Haftical gets an early wall here. British Hurricane, they're loaded for bear in this fight. Team Envy going to have to try and make it work with just Earth Shatter. But there's a boom on the stand one.
There's the Shatter as well. Sharp has got the grab, but it's useless because you're in the Blizzard 2. Can they do anything? I don't think they can.
The counter Blizzard 2.
But the Blizzard is going to come through. Crimso actually still alive. Every fight is winnable if you're Envy. Elivo's going to find 2 as well, and now Numlock's just trying to find some semblance of a fight.
Elivo got the freeze, and there's the pin coming through from Sam 1. Numlock's out of there.
It's all done. Envy can flip over the point here. OT set in session, and now British Hurricane 1 fight away from securing or just losing this series.
That's got to be a tilter right there. If you are British Hurricane, you invested so much. Dan is called out as he tries to enter. Jaru's on the Tracer. Maybe he can come in from the top. Hit that pile driver, get the entry damage, but it's blocked out.
OT is still going to be caught up, so they're good for the time being. Numlock gets jumped on and instantly dead. Sharp has got the kill. The beat's going to come through. Suna's dead. Suna's long gone. Envy are just running over British Hurricane. Every single fight is winnable, and you can see why. Team Envy 2-0 on control and take the series 3-2.
Yofi thought he could get the Samba at the end there, but it was not to be. Executed by Jaru as he did it. That's about as close, Jaws, as it gets, and Team Envy are elated for their victory. You can see how sunken British Hurricane become. They invested so much in that final fight, and they were broken as they did it. Unfortunately, the greater use of the Blizzard, the greater use of the May, getting that primary fire, getting the freeze, managed to catch out Bucket, managed to catch out the counterpart and have the call as well. So much damage coming through, and sooner he was executed by Elivo. Elivo, the newcomer to Envy this season, very much proving his worth.
That's a heartbreaker if you're Hurricane. Although Envy can stand with their heads raised, and I'm sure ZP and Avast are pretty happy with themselves as well.
Excuse me. Can you open this, please?
I see how it is.
You know, this is really the best brand.
EUT. Why do you have sparkling EUTs?
We're in EU, that's why.
Absolutely delicious.
Well, we'll see if you'll be able to say the same in our second match, because of course Angry Titans will go up against Fusion University. But let's take a quick stock of what just happened.
80 are our champions as well, so they're not exactly...
Yeah, this was
not
our
gonna get rolled
second
over.
place team.
Exactly.
This was just a taster.
Imagine.
Of what is
and
to
that
come.
was a very close series as well. We'll have to see what AT can do and roll through a little bit later on. I'm excited to see Envy, though. Again, like you said, Elivo. Names are so similar. Elivo was the new to the team very recently, and he's just gelled so well. Sharp has been outperforming a lot of the Zayas here today already. Just a formidable squad to go up against.
And they are going to be going through to the winners' finals, and they will fight the winner of the next match.
We're going to throw to Anna, though. She's got an interview down on the floor.
Hi, thank you, Jaws and Leg Day, and I'm here with Krefeld from Team Envy. So show him some love. Yeah. Congratulations on the win. A 5-map game was great. How did it feel to win against Europe?
I was pretty good. My heart's pounding like crazy right now. It was really fun, and I'm just glad we could beat a EU powerhouse.
Yeah, fair enough. And how do you feel about the whole competition? Do you feel confident you can win?
I think we can definitely win. I think this was a big test for us, and I think that we can just destroy everybody else.
Okay, and do you want to send a message to the other teams?
I don't need to send a message. They can just watch our games.
Okay, thank you so much, Krefeld. And we are going to a quick break now, and we'll be shortly back.